All right, here we go. Meeting is now streaming. It says setting up your meeting live on Facebook. So if anyone's tuning in right now, then, but I'm not going to start until I know that we are live. All right, we are live. Look at that. Here we go. Welcome. Thanks for tuning in. And thank you, Michael, for jumping on. I'll get to your introductions shortly, but you're not important right now. Let's introduce the show. So this is literally the first episode or the first go around at something I like to call the six-figure hot seat. Now, here's what was going to happen. I was going to do a weekly Q&A every Wednesday at 9 a.m. I was going to be like, you know what? Let's do this weekly Q&A where people tune in, they ask questions, and we're going to be okay. Then I woke up this morning and went, you know what? Everyone does a bloody Q&A. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of Q&As. I want something different. I want something legit. I want something that people can really sink their teeth into. Guys, if this makes a bit of noise right here, I'm sorry. All right, sweet. No, I've done it. So I decided what I'm going to do is, why don't I do a live coaching call? Why don't I just start coaching people live on Facebook and everyone can bloody see it? You know, so if you're wondering what you're going to get for results or sales results coaching, you'll know. The other thing is as people, as a general business owner, ask questions, you're going to have the same bloody problems. And guess what? I'll be able to answer that. I'll be answering your questions at the same time as answering someone else's. So today we have a fantastic guest and a fantastic person who's decided to put themselves in the hot seat. And when I say hot seat, guys, my coaching is not simple. I'm not going to sit here and be super nice to Michael. So if I yell at Michael on Facebook, well then to everyone, I apologize. And to he's leaving, he's done, he's out, right? So guys, so what I want to do is introduce you to the amazing Michael Harris. Michael is a content strategist and brand strategist from Axel Creative. And I'm going to let him, in 2 minutes or less, Michael, tell us who you are, what you do, and why you got into business. Go.
This really is the hot seat, putting me on it. Okay, I'm Michael Harris, principal at Axel Creative. And the main thing that I do is to help people find clarity and high level perspective on their content strategy. And then from going from that high level, kind of build it down to look at even specific bits of content that they're putting out and how to make it better, how to make it more impactful, how to get a stronger return, how to engage your audience, how to build authority. I've been doing this specifically what I've been doing for the last couple of years, but it's come from about 15 years of just creating content day in, day out, working in-house in different companies, working with clients, a whole mix of things. And it's brought me to this place here today. So that's what I do. My main monthly package and structure that I do working with clients is, as Andrew said, it's content strategy, where we kind of take that big picture. Oh, the clock's on. Oh my goodness.
I said 2 minutes or less. I didn't say 7 minutes or more. All right. So
is a monthly content strategy package that goes on to tune and fine tune the strategy moving forward.
And why did you get into business really quickly?
Why did I get into business? Because I love storytelling and I love what that enables in people, and to have the skills that I have and I've developed and I take for granted. I want to be able to empower other people to be able to have that same impact in the stories they're telling and the products and the businesses they're shaping and the way that they do that, because, you know, this is how we change the world. And I want to equip people and empower them to be able to do that.
Awesome. Love it. All right, cool. So now, Michael, you have been one of my clients for a while now. So, you know, usually I'm going to try and do this with randoms, and I'm going to try and pick people out of the blue. So this one's going to be a little bit harder because we've been working together for a little while. And I'm going to be honest, I'm a little bit, I'm kind of nervous because here's my goods are all over live on Facebook now. So if I get this wrong, people are like, oh, this guy's a shit coach. Oh, right. I'm in trouble. Right. But what we're going to do is we're going to focus in on your business. We're going to focus in on what you're struggling with right now and how we can improve it over the next 20 odd minutes. So we'll do about 20, 25 minutes of coaching, and then we'll wrap it up because I got another meeting at 9:30. So, all right, man, stepping away from the Facebook stuff, I'll keep a watch of the comments. If we get any comments or questions from people, I'll keep a watch of that. But as far as you're concerned, where are we at with you? So you came to me a while back, and obviously business was doing all right, but it wasn't where you wanted to. I've seen some awesome growth from you over the last couple of months, which has been really, really good. You just closed a huge deal recently, which is awesome. But where are we at with you at the moment? So what things are you struggling with, and what can we help you with right now?
Oh, okay. What I'm struggling with, I know that when I'm actually like working with clients and doing my thing, it just flows, and I'm confident I can facilitate, I can do everything. But to be honest, I still just have that hesitation before it comes to actually being able to sell and to step into that mindset of, okay, now I'm selling, and it's something I've always struggled with. I know the value that I can bring, but just like still see, even now, even a couple of months into this, there's still that hesitation and having to kind of fight with myself to be able to put my best foot forward. It's probably the biggest struggle that I have at the moment.
All right, and so why don't you tell me what happens when you jump on a coaching call? So like physically run me through, not a coaching call, on a sales call. So physically run me through how you go. So obviously you start by asking a bunch of questions, and then, I mean, obviously asking questions isn't a huge problem for you because you didn't mention questions at all. I'm assuming it's when you have to start to actually actively sell yourself. Would that be correct in asking?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, questions is a natural part of what I do. You can't create content for people without actually delving into their business. And so, like, as a place to start, I end up with all this data about clients as well, like actively listening and doing that. In a discovery session is literally just asking questions and kind of, okay, and then taking a step back and taking a step back and taking a step back, and doing that. So in kind of bringing that through, I'm always trying to find the value that I can for clients right there in that moment as well. But then it comes to kind of to the end, and I don't know how to wrap it up neatly into, okay, this is how we move forward.
Cool. So can I ask, are you so when you ask the questions, obviously you're trying to find problems, yeah?
Yeah.
That's the things that you can fix for them, correct?
Exactly.
Now, are you then moving into actually fixing those problems, or trying to give them some advice on how to fix those problems on the call? Is that the next step?
Well, I'm pretty bad at that because, I want to give that value. I want to be able to help. I figure as well, like,
All that bad. Oh, sorry. I want to help. I'm a terrible human being. Firstly, get over that. Like, you're okay. You're allowed to help people. That's fine.
I feel like, there's more where that came from as well. And so if I can actually provide that value in the meeting, that, I want people to have aha moments and kind of to see their content, in particular, see their brand, the way they market themselves with more clarity and want more. I guess that's what I base my selling on at the moment, is trying to help them have that moment of clarity and, okay, we know that he can actually do this.
Okay, and then where's the moment that you actually get stuck, that you find that, oh crap, because I mean that's when I talk to most people, typically that's what it is. It's like, oh crap, now I've actually got to. And I mean, last night, even when we were on that thing, you were like this super confident, amazing content strategist, and then you like go to offer those free sessions. You're giving it to people for free, right? You're like, like
it comes. I just like physical convulsion almost of like, but no, really, I can help.
I promise, I swear. Right? So
Yeah.
Where do you find that? Like, where does that happen in a sales call? Like, where do you hit the wall?
Generally, it happens at the end when I realize that, okay, we're wrapping up and this is, where we've got to go. Because I mean, I like making people happy as well. And there is this voice that I've always had, that I've always battled with, that's just trying to please people. And that's like, there's a real struggle in that, because, obviously people would love to get things for free. They'd love to get, massive content strategy and stuff without having to pay for it. But it's like, I know that what I'm doing is valuable, but there's just that self-reflex that kind of just pushes that down, and I need to get over it. I need strategies so it doesn't get to that wall of, okay, now I'm selling, because it's not like I wasn't selling before. Like, it's not like it.
So there's two things. One, you're looking for strategies to get over that. That's the first thing. And I can tell you as a sales and performance strategist, right? Everyone's looking for the quick fix. They're looking for the quick strategy. And to be honest, man, it doesn't exist, right? I'm going to try and not swear as much since we are live on Facebook. But you know what I'm like in a normal thing. I'm like, oh, F this, F that, screw this, right? But man, the truth is the quick fix, I think because everyone's looking for the quick fix, they can't actually move forward and find the actual fix, right? Because they're just so concerned with this hunt for how do I get over it? How do I make it happen in like this short period of time? Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying you can't have a breakthrough. That's a completely different scenario, right? But the first thing is the quick fix, right? It's really distracting watching myself on this screen over here. Like, it's crazy because like they're like a second behind, like on this thing. So I'm doing this, and it's suddenly like 2 seconds later, it like goes. Anyway, so the first thing is we want to make sure that you are. So firstly, stop looking for the quick fix on how to get over that what do you call it? How to get over, you know, that lack of confidence or that lack of conviction. You need to just go, all right, it's not going to be a quick fix. It's going to be like a process. Sales is not a sprint. It's a marathon. You got to take your time with it, right? You're not going to, you know, everyone seems to have this idea that when you're selling, you're suddenly going to get into it like, I've got a sales coach. Yes, I'm good. I'm suddenly going to make lots of money. And that's not how it works, right? How it works is, you know, we start to implement some stuff, and yes, you get some seriously kick-ass results, but that's all process-driven stuff. To physically increase your conversion rates and feel comfortable with selling, that's a time thing. That's the more time you spend doing it, the more comfortable you'll feel doing it, right? So that's the first thing. The second thing is, as I asked you before, you know, are you getting on to solve problems, or are you getting on to find problems? Are you getting on to find problems? And you said, oh yeah, I'm getting on to find problems. And I said, do you solve them on the call? And you said, well, yeah, of course I'll try and solve them. Here's the thing with sales, right? This is the thing with selling your package or product, particularly in discovery call. I mean, if you're giving someone a results call or an impact call or a coaching call or a session or something like that, it's a free gift and it's worth $500 and you're calling it worth some money, then sure, you need to fix their problems on the call, because, you know, you're pretending this person has paid you money, right? And so you're fixing their problems. Here's the thing. When you are on a phone call with someone, the facts of the matter are you are the solution, right? So your job is not to worry about, am I right? Can I deliver? What is this? Blah, blah, blah. Your job is to find the problems and then show them how your package solves that problem. So that's the second thing. Make sure like you're the solution there. So don't worry about giving them little bits of advice here and there. That's fair enough, right? You know, because no one, you know, not me, not anyone can sit on a call and do this and go, you know what, I'm going to give you no advice whatsoever, right? Because we naturally want to help, right? And that's okay. But what we have to really make sure is that you are the solution here, right? You need to be the solution. Does that make sense?
It does. I think I'm very good at coming up with excuses for the people I'm working with as well,
Yeah.
as to, you know, why right now may not be right, or you know, I kind of just.
Do they give you those excuses, or do you come up with them yourself?
Head.
Okay, so these are like just pop out of your head kind of things. Yeah. All right, cool. Here's the thing, right? So typically I find when someone's coming up with those excuses, or if they are, and let me make this very, very clear, Michael, you are not the first person to have this problem, and you will not be the last. In fact, it's probably one of the most common issues in sales is people not selling their stuff. People have gotten very, very good at building rapport and selling themselves, right? Because over the last 20 or 30 years, all we've been told is build rapport, build rapport, build rapport, build rapport, build rapport. You know what? We're over that, right? Congratulations. You can talk to someone. Well done, right? But how do you make them certain and have enough conviction that they want to give you $1,000 a month or $700 a month or whatever it is you charge, right? So how do we do that? The answer is to make sure that we are physically selling our product or service, right? And to do that, we first need to have conviction and confidence. And we need to look at it from a different way. So your biggest problem, from what I can see, outside of those two things that I've told you, is the way you're perceiving sales, right? You're perceiving it from a point of pain for the client and a point of pain for you, rather than pleasure for you and pleasure for the client, right? So what you need to do, what I would say is, first thing, let's ask a couple of questions. If your client comes to you and they have a problem,
Yeah.
right? And here's the moment, right? This is the breakthrough moment. This is the, what happened, right? So if your client comes to you, right, and says, I have a problem with content, you go through their content and you find all these problems. Now, if you hold back and you don't sell them on what they need to be sold on, they don't buy your product, they don't buy your package, they don't buy your service, they don't do any of those things, right? If you don't do that, right, what happens to their business 6 months from now?
Well, normally it just kind of keeps going on the same way, that there's no change. They're not actually building on anything.
So if they stagnate in business, what does that actually mean? When you are stagnant in business, what does that actually mean?
Well, you're not growing. You're not even like keeping level. You're ultimately going down because you're not reinvesting. You're not building.
Because everyone else is moving
forward.
So you're actually moving backwards
over time. So, 6 months of not delivering content that's engaging, like, people are actually going to not have new people coming in. You're going to have people actually opting out and disengaging and going backwards.
That's exactly right. So the less, right? So if you decide to, if you don't step up and you don't convince them and you don't have that confidence and conviction, not only are you just not selling your stuff, but you're actually causing pain in the customer's business, because you didn't believe in yourself enough to help them move forward, right? So you're actually doing an injustice to them. If you want to talk about ethical selling, the truth behind ethical selling is showing the client exactly what is right for them, right? It doesn't matter whether you believe they can afford it, whether they can't afford it, whether they can do this. It has none of that has anything to do with it. They can manage their own damn finances. Your job is to tell them what's good for them.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you don't do that, what you're doing is showing the client how to fail rather than how to succeed.
Well, the other thing that often I hesitate in with that is, like, when I have a client and I've built the relationship and the rapport, I can be as honest as all honesty about what they're producing and what they're creating, and like, this is what you need to do. Like, you're wasting your time in this area to switch. But I've always been a nice guy. I don't like I don't like offending people, and not that I'm wanting to just come in and do that, but I know that I have that. That same voice inside me is not wanting to, I guess, to be honest with people, to actually show them, like, this is going to hurt you in the long run, that this is an obvious fix that you need to do, because I don't want to hurt their feelings.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Do you consider yourself an ethical person? Yes or no?
Absolutely.
Well, then why the hell are you not telling them what they need to know to move forward? If you hold back on that, all you're doing is actively omitting the truth so that they don't succeed. Because you're looking at it saying, if I tell them the truth, I'm selling to them, that's going to cause the client pain. Let me explain to you something. If you don't tell them, that's what's going to cause the client pain, because 6 months from now, their business is going to fail because everyone else is going to move forward and they're going to keep moving backwards.
Yeah.
Right? Because here's the thing I've found with content particularly, people don't move forwards or stagnate. They either move forwards or backwards, right? And it's the rate at which you move forwards or the rate at which you move backwards it counts, right? And if you don't know anything about content or anything about marketing or anything about sales, it's going to be very hard for you to produce content that people are actually interested in, right? And so you've got a choice, right? Your choice is this, is you can either focus on the fact that me selling to them is painful for them and they don't want me to do that and they might reject me, and then not give them what ethically and truly they need to survive and move forward, and not truly own your space and sell to them so that they get over their fear and go, you know what, Michael's right, I need this, right? And then, hey, they take the step forward to move their business forward. You can not do that, and you can be meager and not let them, and tell them that, oh yeah, maybe this might help and this might be the thing, and sort of not drive that certainty into them, and then let them go back to their life and their pain and see what happens. Or you can suck up your own feelings and go, you know what, this is what you need because you're trying to help the world. You're trying to create pleasure. Now, here's this, and this is where I'm going with this. Where do you see your, if they do sign up with you, where do you see their business going in a 6-month time span?
I would, first of all, like a much larger, like a community and like authority that's actually engaged with them.
Okay, so a much larger community, authority, and their communities engage with them. Now, if you have a larger community and you're engaged and they're engaged, what's the likelihood their clients are going to go up?
Oh, massively. The whole point of what I do is actually about creating content that draws people in. So you're not having to go out and spend money on advertising. You're not going to have to try and find clients under a rock somewhere, but actually like they're coming to you, and you can even pick and choose at that point, because like, that's what I mean.
If you don't sell to them, so if you don't show conviction and confidence, their business goes like this.
Yeah.
If you do show conviction and confidence, their business goes like this.
Yeah. Okay.
So you tell me what you should be doing.
Yeah, I get that. I understand that, but it's still like that voice that comes in, and it's sort of like, but what if that I can't see? What if there's there's an unknown factor in here that is going, and ultimately it comes back to the clients as well, is that, that it needs to be a collaboration. It needs to be actually working together, and they need to actually be committed to it as well.
Do you tell them that on the call?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I probably don't do it 100% of the time. But the truth of it, I could sit here and do my work and create this amazing persona, but if they're not actually 100% invested in it, and I think that's the thing that people often push content and push marketing off to the side as like this pretty afterthought. And it's like, well, no, it influences every single thing that you do. And it's a change in perspective. And so I guess actually, like, the more I think about it, the honest answer is no, I don't say that in every call.
And why not?
I don't know. I don't have a good answer for that.
The truth is what you just said to me just then, that's what you need to say in your calls. You don't have to be mean, man, or you don't have to be rude. It's just you need to stop focusing on the pain that you're causing them by trying to sell them, and focus on the pleasure that you're bringing them by selling them into what you're offering. But here's the thing. Anyone watching right now, if I get on a call with someone, I am not going to sit there and go, oh, this might help. I've got two choices. I can either let them go back to the life of earning no money or struggling to make 6 figures, struggling to get to that point, or I can say, dude, you need this, right? Because I know if they put the work in, what's going to happen to their business, Michael? You tell me.
If they put the work in, it's going to grow exponentially. Like it's
exactly. And I know that. And if that, what'd you say?
Up as well. To grow their team, it gets to a point where like they're actually expanding to keep up with it.
Correct. Exactly right. And so you know that, I know that, and you know that for your clients as well. And if you know that for your clients, the right thing to do is to tell them that. I'm not saying, as I said, man, before, there is no quick fix. I can't sit here and change your confidence in one call. I can tell you how to stand up straight, bang your chest a little bit, breathe deep, right? No, seriously, not like this. Like, give yourself a smack, right? Right? Like feel like Superman a little bit. That's a serious thing. Your physiology is very directly related to how you're feeling. So if you're sitting like this in a coaching, in a sales call, that's how you're going to feel. If you're sitting like this, big and strong and head up, and that's how you're going to feel, right? There's a huge difference, right? So when you sit up straight and you breathe deep, you're going to get that confidence. That's the quick confidence fix, if that's what you want, right? But the truth behind it is you can't just fix someone's confidence and someone's conviction in 1 second. It's practice and focus. And while you focus on the pain of selling and the pain that it's causing you, the pain that it's causing them, your sales are going to be really struggling. But if you focus on the pleasure that you're bringing the client by really selling to them, and the pleasure that you're bringing your own business by really selling to them, that is going to make you sell with a lot more conviction. Naturally, you won't even realize it. It'll just change the game completely, because you'll start to, like, in the moment you're about to go on selling and you're like, all right, let's focus. And you sit there thinking about, okay, what's the outcome for their business in the next 6 months? Just every single time, that one question, what is the outcome for their business in the next 6 months if they work with me? And then instantly your brain will be like, I don't know, there'll be a $500,000 business, or there'll be $1 million business. Perfect, great, let's go.
Well, that's actually something I don't talk about with clients at all, is the 6 months down the track. Is like, you know, I know where it's heading, but I don't know whether I'm just assuming that they can see it too, or like.
Here's the thing, man. That is called, just to stop you, that's called trust and faith in your own ability, right? And that's called trust and faith. You cannot 100% guarantee the outcome of anything. You can't do it. It's physically impossible, right? You can't do it. You can't guarantee the outcome. I can't guarantee that you're going to get results from my coaching. You have gotten results though. Would you say that's true?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. So you know that you've gotten results from it, right? I can't guarantee that. But when I came to you and I sold you into it, I said to you point blank, I said, dude, right? This is going to get you X results if you do the work, right? No one can guarantee anything. But I can tell you that if you put the work in and you do all the stuff, you're definitely going to get results. That I can guarantee. I just can't guarantee that you'll put the work in. That's the only thing I can't guarantee. And you can't guarantee that they'll put the work in. So you need to say to them the same thing. If you do X, Y, Z, you will get these results. This is what's going to happen. I can't tell you exactly what they go, but I can tell you that my average client grows between 30 and 70%. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right? It's a simple equation, but you have to own that shit. You have to really, you know, make that difference to your client. You've got to tell them that. But if you don't tell them that, if you're not going to go out there and say, you know what, this is who I am and this is what I can do for you, I can own my shit. One, I'm going to ask you a question. What the hell's the point in going out at all? Right? Because, like, you know, but the second thing is, how are you doing right by your customer by not telling them what's right for them? Think of it that way. It's all about ethics and responsibility. A doctor has a responsibility to tell a client how they can fix themselves, right? They have like an ethical responsibility to heal their patients, right? They're under oath, right? You are under your own oath to be ethical and responsible and tell your clients the right thing for them. If they choose not to listen to you, their choice, right? But your job is to do the very best that you can to convince them of what is right for them. What we're trying to do in sales is make ourselves the solution so we can get our clients out of their own way to do what is right for them. Does that make sense? Right? Because here's the thing, people are terrified. Do you remember when you first signed up to my package? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
You were terrified, man. You even told me, you're like, man, I was shit scared. Like, I was so scared. Right? How scared are you now?
Less scared. No.
Yeah.
I feel like my whole perspective has changed.
Yeah.
To be very honest about it. Yeah. It's been a huge transformation.
So my point there is this, right? My point to that is this, is that you have to do the same thing for your clients, is you have to say, you don't see it now, right? But in 6 months, I promise you, if you put the work in, this is where you're going to be, right? But if you can't say that to them, if you can't own, and this goes to everyone watching, anyone that watches this video, if you can't own your shit to like the nth degree, if you cannot say, you know what, I am fucking amazing, I am really good at what I do, then you're going to struggle to get people on board, and they're going to struggle to believe, right, that that you can solve their problem. I'm going to tell you this right now. No, like, and trust is not fucking enough, right? It's just not enough at all, right? No, like, and trust it works for them to like you. It works for them to listen to you. It works for them to trust you enough to tell them what's right for them. But if you don't take that trust and use it to be the solution, use it to show them what they really need to do, then there's no point having that know, like, and trust anyway. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think it does.
Right.
Yeah.
So so that's why you do it. The way you do it is by focusing on the pleasure of what they're going to achieve, their outcome. What is their outcome? You need to know their outcome. Now, if you know their outcome and you focus on their outcome, you'll also tell them their outcome, right? Which is a really powerful thing in selling, right? So you got to focus on their outcome. And then you just have to not focus and forget about the pain, right? So you got to focus on the fact that if I sell this person into this, they're going to get X, Y, Z. If I sell this person into this, I'm also going to get X, Y, Z. My business is going to grow. So it's a win-win, double pleasure situation, right? The outcome of this.
Yeah.
The only pain in this is that I feel a little bit uncomfortable while I'm doing it. But that'll go away really fast once you get used to focusing on the pleasure. Make sense?
It makes sense. How do you, like, I'm great at knowing this in
Theory.
The conceptual, but in the moment, how do you actually?
Force of will.
Okay.
And I mean, every other coach out there, I think every other coach out there is going to tell you, oh, you have to neutralize your fear, or you have to do this or do that. The truth is, man, it's all force of will. Everything that Tony Robbins talks about, everything it's all mental strength to push through that barrier, right? Yet you need to have the breakthrough of understanding. The second you understand something, when it becomes painful enough for you to go, screw this, I want more, right? That's when usually people take action. But here's the thing, I've just trained myself to take action before that point and go, I don't need there to be super pain. I'm just going to sheer force of will myself to do what I need to do, right? It's the same thing. Is you get in that moment, have a little note somewhere on your like discovery thing or on your computer. Particularly now, you don't even have to leave your bloody computer, so you can do it on your computer, right? Have a little note somewhere and literally just say to the person, saying there, focus on pleasure, not pain, right? And and not with them. They need to know what their pain is.
Yeah.
But I'm saying your pain of not wanting to sell, right? Focus on the outcome, the pleasurable outcome that they're going to get, the pleasurable outcome you're going to get. This sounds really dirty. I should stop saying pleasure. So anyone watching, this is the Six-Figure Hot Seat. I promise it is not a weird show. So it's about focusing on the right thing. Yeah, sure. But give yourself little reminders. And then from there, once you've got the reminder, it's about sheer force of mental strength to push yourself, not them, push yourself into the mindset that is required for you to give them utter conviction and confidence. Instead of saying things like, if you want practical ways of doing it, instead of saying things like, I think, say things like, I know. Instead of saying things like, I want, say things like, you must. Instead of saying things like, this will, say things like, this definitely will, right? That extra level of conviction and confidence is what's going to drag them across the line. But it's going to be very hard to say that stuff if you don't have the right focus. And so it all comes down to what you're focusing on while you're in the room.
It's funny because I know all of this when I'm actually consulting with people. If I'm editing something, it's sort of, you got to turn it around. But I'm the worst at actually then applying that to
when you're selling. Well, that's the thing, right? That's the thing is we all need a coach, man. And we all need someone to tell us about the things that we're not good at. And often a lot of coaching is knowing already what it is that you do, right? And already knowing what it is you do and don't do. But sometimes you need someone to push you and fix it. So when's your next sales meeting?
Today.
When? What time?
4.
Okay. So at 3:50 this afternoon, you are going to sit there and you're going to literally sit there for 5 minutes and shift your focus. I want you to shift that focus to figuring out the outcome for this client. Because here's the thing I haven't told you, and I kept this right until the end on purpose. There is one strategy you can use, which is like a quick fix strategy, but it only works if you use it in conjunction with long-term change.
Okay.
Right? And that strategy is simple, right? Before you step into any sales meeting, define the outcome that you want from each sale, right? So define that outcome. So pick the outcome. Say, okay, so this person is going to buy X package. Now, if that outcome has to change halfway through the call because you realize that's not right for them, fine, whatever, right? But pick that outcome first and then say, if they choose this outcome, where is their business going to be 6 months from now? And then pick their outcome and know their outcome. So before you step on the call, you know what you want your outcome to be and what their outcome is going to be. Right? Before you even move into the call.
Okay. I mean, for me as well, like when I'm trying to put a package together, that often I also had that hesitation. I'm like, well, they're going to know what they can afford, what they can do, but I know in my gut what's going to work. It's like,
and that's what you need to sell them.
Okay.
Your job, it is not your job to worry about their financials. That's not your job. That's my job, or a financial planner's job. And it's not even my job to worry about their financials before the fact. It's in a sales meeting, your job is to worry about, how do I take this person to the next level? Now, if they physically can't afford something, they will tell you. Now, you just need to make sure it's a real excuse, right? And then once it is, you need to have packages that are lower down the chain that they can take advantage of, so you don't lose the sale, right? So whether it's $200 or $300 a month or whatever, something smaller, right? It might be a group content coaching program or something, right?
Okay.
But they need to have something. Now, but the thing is that you just have to do what's right for them at the beginning.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Screw whether they can afford it, whether they can't, whether there's something else in their business, anything else. None of that matters. The only thing that matters is that you do what's right for them in that moment. That's it, right? So pick that outcome that's right for them, and then talk about it. And then then your brain, through all your questioning, is going to naturally lead you down that pathway to get there.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It makes sense. You got me pumped for this. It's good.
All right, good. So that's what I want you to do. So 3:50 this afternoon, 10 minutes before your meeting, what you're going to do is you're going to have your you're going to pick your outcome that you want from this sales call and the outcome that they're going to get from that from your coaching, and then you're going to focus on that the entire time.
Okay.
Deal?
Okay.
Deal?
Deal.
Deal. All right, cool, man. All right, well, Michael, we've run over time a little bit, but thank you so much for jumping on to the six-figure hot seat. How'd you find it?
It's good. Like, you speak truth. You speak things that, like, I kind of know, but I just
don't want to hear.
Well, there's that. When you talked about, not doing the work, as in I'm not doing the work in it. I know when the lecture is going to come, but it's what you need to hear, because it's like, I need to face this.
I am a bit of a lecturer, aren't I?
I was trying to be nice when you yell at me.
All right. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. We're going to have a different person on next week, guys. This is Michael from Axel Creative. If you guys want anything to do with, if you need content, you need content strategy, you need something to do with your branding, this is the guy to go to. He is an absolute legend, and I have seen his work. It is phenomenal. So check him out. But Michael, when they come to you, which they will, when they come to you, conviction, confidence, it's really important.
Awesome. Thanks.
All right, cool. All right. Thanks heaps for tuning in, guys. And we'll see you next week with another hot seat. Peace out.
Peace.
Yeah.